How did it come to the point where you made a decision? I need to establish my own accounting firm, business consultancy.
Yeah.
How did it come to that?
I absolutely love tax and I love challenges.
Right.
So throw me a challenge, I want to find a solution. I really want my own business from the age of 8. Any way of making money to save for something that I wanted. I first went on a property ladder when I was 19 years of age. So I bought my first flat and rented it. So
at 19?
At 19.
And you also got an award for the top 50 women in accounting.
Yes, I did.
In 2022.
Yes, I did. The legislation does change all the time. So you have to learn that legislation. And then clients will call you and say, hey, I've just heard what's happened on the news or the radio. How's that going to affect me? So we always have to make sure that we know that.
Welcome to ICA Podcast, a space where we share valuable insights and expertise of members and partners of ICA Consulting. We exist to help your businesses grow and develop at the speed you prefer, connecting you to our network and making sure that everything is aligned for your success. Please feel free to join our network via Telegram channel. Our guest today is the entrepreneur and managing director of Future Insights, Michelle Yianni. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to ICA Podcast. It's amazing to have you. And,
thank you.
Today we're celebrating our partnership with Future Insight as well. So it's great to have you here and to learn a little bit about yourself, because you're an extremely talented entrepreneur. You've started very young, as we know. And I think I've read somewhere that you started the entrepreneurship from the time when you were 14.
Yes.
How did that happen? What happened there?
So my grandparents owned a cafe in Southampton Way in Camberwell. And I always used to watch them because they were I used to spend most of my summers there. They'll pick me up after school. And I went, I really want my own business from the age of 8. And then when I was 14, I said to my granddad, I'd really like a store down East Street Market. And he went, okay, bring me a business plan. Yeah, my great granddad, bring me a business plan. So I brought him a business plan. Okay, I was too young, but he had to get the license, and I sold retro sweets and retro items. I used to go to boot fairs with my auntie and buy things to sell on my stall.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I didn't know you had a store.
Yeah, I did. I had a store. Well, it wasn't my store. It was in my granddad's name, because my granddad was always an entrepreneur. He was an entrepreneur when he lived in Cyprus, and so was my grandmother. They always had their own business, whether it be property, whether it be, having the cafe, and they put their children through education. He gave them the great start in life, like my father and his siblings. So
and he also taught you a lot, I can see.
He
inspired you a lot.
He did.
Well. And what happened after this? You had a store. Did you get some earnings from it and reinvested it into some other business?
So I only did the Sunday market. My dad also did the Sunday to keep an eye on me. He did the flea market further up the road, selling antique stuff on a Sunday, because he was also working during the week. He was a lecturer, my dad, in chemistry.
Oh, wow!
So he became a professor of chemistry at one point. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. But I wanted to do music and drama. There was no way I wanted to be the career path that I'm on now, what my journey's been.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's quite separate. Yeah, but they could go together.
Absolutely. But I'd say that when I did the performing arts, it gave me confidence to be able to talk to people. So it built my confidence up, how to speak, how to talk. So I went to college, and when I came out of it, I was like, I don't know what to do next. And then my mum said, look, you've got to get a serious job. My mum at the time was one of the financial controllers of the charity for King Charles, because he's part of the Prince's Trust. So I went for an interview with the Duchy of Cornwall as an intern, and I worked for Prince Charles at the time. It was King Charles. He was the Duke of Cornwall, and I started off my career from there.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's very impressive.
yeah.
How was it to work with the king?
It was good, very good. I met him twice. I went to the palace once. I've also got like a little Christmas card that's been signed by him that was actually recorded, delivered to all. Yeah, I also stayed at Highgrove. I have a part of a tree at Highgrove because we got it for the king's birthday when I worked there. Yeah, and I used to like the Dutchy biscuits. The ginger ones were my favourite. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good to work with him. And then I moved on because there wasn't anywhere else for me to go after that once I got to a point. So I moved on to places like Knight Frank, who at the time were Knight Frank and Rutley, into the accounts department there.
Right.
So it's all stemming from accounts. Whereas me, I wanted to go off, I'm going to be an actress, I'm going to be a singer, I'm going to do this. But I'm grateful for my mum to give me that advice and say, look, get a serious job because no one can take that away from you with all that experience. I didn't go down the university route, and I don't think that's a problem going through the university route. And my mum said, go on a YTS scheme, get hand-on experience and work your way up. And that's what I did basically.
Yeah, it does work better with the experience, to be fair.
Absolutely.
And to find a job after university, it's next to impossible.
I would have loved to go. No, but I wanted to go to university. I would have loved to have gone to university, but she said, but then she was right. When I started working and getting a salary, and I was like, oh, I can get a car, I can pay for these, obviously some rent, and go out with my friends. I was enjoying my life more and having holidays that, based on, and I'd earned that money myself. It was kind of that kind of way. So yeah,
you got yourself into the independent woman in business straight away.
Absolutely, because I had come from an entrepreneur background. Because my grandparents were entrepreneurs. They've been entrepreneurs all their life, and I wanted to be something like that. It was in my bones from them, really. So I also run, like I've said, the sweet store. I also did a franchise of a dating company. So that was interesting. I did that at Canary Wharf, getting, professionals meeting each other, parties and things like that. We did that at the Wharf.
So I'm not sure it still exists, but it has to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I've always worked hard. I've done a shoe shop, cleaning of golf clubs, silver service, any way of making money to save for something that I wanted. I first went on a property ladder when I was 19 years of age. So I bought my first flat and rented it. So
at 19?
At 19. I got because I just wanted to build a future. I think people usually say that I was old before my time because I grew up very quickly. Based on circumstances probably in my younger years. But having said that, it gave me really good foundations for moving on further.
Yeah, you became very strong, and then you do have a structure.
Yeah,
which you sort of use to climb your way up in your career, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so needed.
Yeah,
especially in this world where we're all like
absolutely
very phlegmatic,
Yeah, absolutely. So
and how did it come to the point where you made a decision? I need to establish my own accounting firm, business consultancy.
Yeah.
How did it come to that?
So I started off as a bookkeeper because you're working your way up.
Yeah.
So I started my bookkeeping firm 26 years ago, as soon as my son was born. So I got the opportunity. I was a financial controller for 4 years for a design consultancy, and then my son was born. And it was just late hours, things like that. And I went, I really want to work from home and spend my time working from home. So if Kyle needed me, I could pick him up and, and do things. So I started off my bookkeeping career. Then I went into the accounting career. I started doing my qualifications. So the bookkeeping qualifications were done while Kyle was young. And then accounting qualifications were done all through Macy. Yeah, Macy basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now at this point of time, you have a great experience in accounting.
Yeah.
you are one of the best. Like you're the best person I know. If we are to economize on tax. Michelle is our guru of tax.
Tax advisory, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I met you for the first time, you were like, I love tax.
I do. I absolutely love tax.
What is it in tax that you love about it? Everybody's afraid of tax and you love it.
Okay, so I'm just going to mention that I'm neurodiverse.
Yeah.
I have ADHD and I love challenges.
Right.
So throw me a challenge, I want to find a solution. I can't do something unless I've got a solution. I have to find that solution. I've got to find the solution to make everybody happy, because that's just the way I am. Why do I like tax? I find it interesting. I find it that some people are afraid of it, and I like the fact that I'm not afraid of it.
So you were able to help you come in there with like a knight being like, I know tax, it's not scary.
Yeah. It's not scary. The legislation does change all the time, but we're lucky enough in the accounting career that we can do CPD hours for our accounting bodies, and we go off and do different seminars, workshops all over the country to learn about how those legislations are changing, how the government authorities like HMRC, Companies House are changing, how they're evolving, and we're getting that information. So that I find interesting because it's the next step. I'm learning new things all the time. I'm doing personal development all the time. So
yeah, you're also creating new processes for the people, for your customers to enjoy, right?
Exactly.
To benefit from some tax schemes as well.
Yeah.
The tax optimization. How would you say because the Future Insight Consultancy is around 20 years old, right?
Yes, so I was a sole practitioner. Then I became a limited company in 2011. Okay, and basically I built from there Future Insight Consultancy.
And with the legislation landscape, with political landscape and economic landscape, a lot of things changed from 2011
of course
to 2025. What is your opinion on how they do it and how they change?
It changes so much. Every time
how did it affect you? As well?
It affects accountants quite a lot, actually, because one minute we're learning one legislation, and then I'd give you an example. In the last few changeovers of people in government and new structures were coming in, it changed the legislation. So you have to learn that legislation, and then clients will call you and say, hey, I've just heard what's happened on the news or the radio. How's that going to affect me? So we always have to make sure that we know that. There are times like during COVID, you couldn't predict. So helping clients through that COVID situation was really vital for us. We were busier than ever through COVID because we wanted to give reassurance to our clients that, it's okay, we'll still be doing your accounts. Yes, if it slowed down for you, there are grants or bounce back loans that you could approach if, business wasn't working the way that you wanted to. I like to make reviews with clients. So every 6 months, my plans are reviewing every client's accounts to be able to say, okay, look, this is what's happened. Let's move on. Let's see what we can do to help you. And I bring in other things as well. What other taxations? So, for instance, if they are a bespoke company that design their own products, then there's R&D tax credits because they're designing bespoke, stuff.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows about R&D tax credits, so we can advise them about that. If they're property landlords, do I go into a limited company or stay out of the corporate? There are ways that you can move into a limited company to help you with taxation and so forth, or partnerships, or stay self-employed depending on your portfolio. So there's always that advisory that we would give and talk about capital gains tax. I will always do a provision. So when I start with a client, I do a provision of what's going to happen in the future.
So that's very needed in this point.
Absolutely. And and other things in international markets. So my main forte is like looking at international markets. So when was it, 2021, we opened Malta branch. So my husband's Maltese. I'd lived in Malta and was in a Maltese practice for a little while. And then I said I wanted to set up my own practice, and I have a partner over there, and we're working towards helping clients that want to go international, especially in regards to, since Brexit's happened, going into the European markets, where to start from and so forth. But my plan is to have 4 branches in 5 years.
That's a very ambitious plan.
Yeah,
But
so
4 branches,
we always thought about Spain.
Yeah.
You know, I've had Spain on my radar for a few years. Now that I have an accountant partner that works with me and she's Spanish, we've got things that we can talk about in the future. I'm thinking about Cyprus as well.
Yeah, because you have the roots from Cyprus,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And I've got family members that are accountants in Cyprus.
Excellent.
Or lawyers. So it's kind
all
of
set up for you already.
It is.
The stars have aligned.
But we speak with affiliates in Dubai. So we've got clients that are in Dubai, we've got clients in Hong Kong, because they want to work in those markets. You know, and also vice versa. They want to work in the UK market from international, and that's bringing international trade into the UK to help the economy run.
It's well, great plans. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I hope that with having such a great team that you currently have, and that they will support you all the way, and you will open all the branches. By the way, Michelle has a women's team, totally women's team.
Yes.
Which we are super proud of.
I know.
Because it's great that you're supporting women on this journey.
It's
hard to be in this career and have children and do the job at the same time. You've been in this situation.
Yes, I've been in this balancing act.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you I assume you enjoy working with women, right?
I do. I do enjoy working with women. Most of they're also most of them are neurodiverse.
Right.
So we have women that have got ADHD. We've also got autism spectrum. We've also got Asperger's.
Right.
You know, and I've always been a neurodiverse team. They're very clever women. They've been wanting to have an opportunity to do a bookkeeping career or accounting career, whichever path they want to go. So I train from juniors, apprentices, all the way up. So we also do training within the house. It's worked out as a woman's team, but not intentionally. It's just people have come to me and said, hey, I'm looking for work experience, and reached out to me. Say, why not? Give them a trial. And it's worked from there, really. So it's also a family team. We've got, obviously my daughter does the COO operations, and then I've got my sisters, one the HR manager, one doing bookkeeping. So it is that as well. So it's
the level of trust.
It's a level of trust exactly within the team. You know, we do have team changes. Every company has team changes from time to time. But, you know, we've built a good structure of 10 women now. And our longest member is Lindsay, and she's been with me 18 years when I was a sole practitioner. So if you think of it like that, and I've had my clients from that long as well. So I've had clients all since I was a sole practitioner, and they've gone on the journey with me, regardless whether I moved to Malta. They still came on the journey with me.
Yeah, no, it's excellent when you have your accountant which you trust your life with, you know. And
I'm always finding. How can I help? What can I do? So it's great because the team is now structured. It's not just on me doing the bookkeeping, the year-end accounts, doing the advisory, that sort of thing. Because we've outgrown that space that I needed to bring some more people on board. And now we've got another accountant in-house. So I bounce things off her because she's knows up-to-date legislation, because I'm old school, learning all that information of what's happening right now, current markets. And I bounce it. And I know the answer, but I say to her, look, it's really good to have that second opinion. Or, you know, you're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
You know, there's too much to learn in accounting, too much to learn in taxation. There's so much there's different systems all the time coming on the market. And we embrace AI in our...
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
Yeah,
AI could be
exactly.
a great companion in this.
It is. So AI, we use it, we embrace it. People think that AI will take over accountants, and bookkeepers, but I don't think so. When I've looked at it, yeah, AI cannot do what a bookkeeper can do because every company is unique.
Mm-hmm.
Every set of books, you may be in the same sector, but every single books that we bring up, there is a way that we have to do it based on what other services they offer or circumstances or who's in the company, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be some accounting software very soon that will help you to sort of input the invoices and everything for the bookkeeping, because it is a very time-consuming job.
It is, but you have got things like Xero and QuickBooks that have connecting apps that you can just send the file straight up to the accounting system and it will try and figure out information for you. So when you're bringing it into Xero, so it's useful.
We'll see what future brings us in terms of AI and accounting. That would be
That's
very
it,
interesting.
definitely. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it will help us help more businesses, because if we do the old ledgers, there's no way we would have been able to do the amount of clients that we've got today. We would only do a third of the clients that we've got today, because we'd be taking weeks doing their ledger books. I remember the old ledger books. I started off with the Duchy of Cornwall, and it was the old ledger books to the penny we had to reconcile. Well, now there's just systems that are there. I remember Sage DOS, when it was black and green, before even Microsoft and Windows were invented. So, yeah. Oh my God. If I think about it now, people call it the dinosaur age. Yeah, probably. Like the floppy disk and putting the floppy disks in, taking it out. Yeah, no. We've come from, there's some cloud-based systems and things like that. So it's great. In regards to technology that has evolved, it's good. It is a good thing, as long as it's regulated and stabilized, and it doesn't go too extreme.
We'll see how they regulate the AI. It's kind of, we did have a discussion the other day on one of the networking events, and we just thought that AI probably should also have a voice in this, because if you only give it to humans, then they wouldn't cover some of the parts of the AI which are considered beneficial for the society.
Yeah, definitely. If you're using, I know it says clauses when you're writing something in AI and ask it to write something for you, and it always mentions that get advice from an accountant or lawyer or something like that, depending on what you do. But it'd be great if AI is the route now we're going down, that it can be regulated too, so that if it is giving as advice as it can from pulling information, that
it can digest a lot of
stuff. It can.
Well, maybe you will leverage AI and make it a great future for the 4 branches that you're gonna have.
Definitely. The fact that everything is in the cloud now, we can use the same server all over the world. If I'm working, like the Nomad system, where they're going out working anywhere, 1 year in one country, 1 year in another country, and so forth, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Just travel. Why not travel and work? Yeah. It's becoming that way. It's becoming that kind of thing.
It's good. Not like too bad. At least at this point, it's not going too extreme. It doesn't go into the super robotic mode where you don't talk to human anymore.
Yeah.
In this case, actually, it could take away all the manual tasks that the accounting firm is doing, and you would become more as an advisory.
That's exactly what we want to become, is more advisory. When Future Insight Consultancy was born, we wanted to do the whole thing. People talk about the one-stop shop, but we actually wanted to do that. We wanted to start with, because within consultancy, there are other divisions. So we have the bookkeeping division, which is managed by itself, and it does bookkeeping, also does other accountants' bookkeeping clients. So it's self-efficient for itself. Then we got Future Insight Accounting, which deals with taxation and advisory on self-assessments and self-employed people on accounting. And then we got consultancy, which deals with all the taxation and capital gains, R&D, inheritance tax maybe, estate tax and stuff like that. So consultancy deals with that. But I wanted to be able to advise everybody. I also sit on boards as a finance chair or finance director or CFO, or anything like that, really, because I want to advise clients and advise them how to build their businesses with the backup of the finance part of it being okay for them to grow their company. That was the ethos behind consultancy. When I first started it in 2011.
Yeah, that's great. And you also got an award for the top 50 women in accounting.
Yes, I did.
In 2022.
Yes, I did. So it's amazing because my clients nominated me. They were like, yeah, she's worth her weight in gold. It was actually my PA at the time that thought she came across this award and said, I'm going to recommend you, Michele. And I went, oh, that's nice. Like, she said, yeah, because you've given me an opportunity and I've been with you for 3 years and you've given me this opportunity. Since clients are always like saying, and I sent it out to so many clients and yeah, I won it. When I've looked at after 23, 24, the people that have won there, these are people that head in CEOs of accounting boards and like big, massive, accounting firms. And for the fact that little old me with her small little boutique practice has got one of those awards and was recognised for it, I'm very privileged.
I'm pretty sure it was a big celebration as well for the women in the collective that you.
Absolutely, it was just a privilege that people felt so highly of me. That makes me feel like a job well done. I go, yes, it feels great to see if I can help. I will try anything. Like I say, any obstacle, I get over that hurdle. It's like I'm running but not running, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You're running at lightning speed. You're standing at but you're
gliding
on lightning speed.
Exactly. And I'm building the team. I mean, the team that we've got, and building them up and making them more confident in what they're doing. They're qualified bookkeepers or we got apprentices, and they're also building, because practice is very different to commercial. So commercial books, you've just got maybe one accounts to look after all their subsidiary companies. It's very different because in fact you don't know what books you're picking up from day to day when a new client comes on board, and you've got to know the history of that client. So you've got to get to know, and customer service is important for us.
It's one of the main things.
Yeah, exactly.
Why people stay with you.
Yeah,
I think.
I will. I really like that. They can tell me anything if they're, whether it's something they may not be happy with, let's deal with it. We may be really happy with, and we're like, yeah, thank you. Please.
It's about the openness as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, since you've got such a good level of trust with your colleagues, I mean, it's great to have such a leader who takes care of them and
thank
just
you.
like hugs them.
But we get our business through word of mouth. So although I go on to all platforms, we've had some clients come from Facebook because they're moving to Malta, so they don't know what to do, and people will recommend us. But usually it's like, oh, hello, so-and-so recommended you. Is it all right you do my books? Maybe we get that kind of conversation. Yeah, of course. Who are you? Do you want us to quote you? So, how much is it? Tell them, oh, yeah, thanks. Send me the paperwork. Do you want to meet? Yeah. So, yes, we'll meet. We'll have coffee, or they do the compliance. You'll have a face recognition thing with people, but if we haven't met them, but usually they're like, yeah, no, I've heard such a good rapport, I'm coming with you.
This word of mouth, man.
I know, and it's just like, wow. And they're like,
no, but it's great.
It keeps Macy in a she's working my daughter, who's the CEO, she's working 3 days a week now because it's getting so busy, which is great for us. It means that we've moved offices, everyone's enjoying where we are,
and soon you're going to be starting like traveling.
Yes.
To Spain, Cyprus, Malta.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
back to the UK.
Every 3 months I tend to go to Malta to meet the Maltese team. Of course, we talk online every week and stuff. But yeah, the Maltese team, I'll see them every 3 months to catch up, how things going, what we're going to do going forward, whatever. And then, yeah, in Cyprus, we're just working towards that now. We were hoping to open it last year, but things, change over government, economy. So I was just like, let's hold off now and let's see what's happening. Yeah, what trade deals are going to come in, those sort of things. What's going to come next?
Right. Well, you're going to be very busy. That's what's going to come next. But just
I know.
make sure that you don't overdo it.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's very,
absolutely.
very demanding, I reckon, for the resource as well. Because you've been a leader of separate entities, which are all one entity, and this is one entity because you are one.
Yes.
So you sort of like manifesting all the parts of yourself in different islands.
Absolutely.
And whenever you're bored of the sea, come back to the UK.
Okay, we'll do. But I like delegating work to people. I never used to. Delegation was so hard to me. But delegating the work to a team, it took time. It does take time with any entrepreneur's company when they start bringing in a team members and delegating work, because it's been your baby for so long. You have your way of doing it. But then they come in with innovation and say, Michele, look, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Do you think that will work? And I love that. I love the fact that they are coming up with ideas. We also have a meeting on a Monday morning, first thing, a breakout session. How's things going? What we're doing? Who's what? When? Anything? Got any ideas? How can we make that better? I love it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you actually now feel comfortable delegating.
I am.
You prefer delegating?
I prefer delegating because it gives me time to think about where I want to go next with my journey with the entrepreneur.
You do have this
such
time.
as the radio show. I would never have been able to have time for the radio show. So I do that twice a month. Although I'm a co-host with Sean Murphy, but we do the Big Woman and Business radio show, and we do that every 2 weeks. I love it. It's kind of like advising, giving information out there to the entrepreneurial world, not just women, men as well. And we also sponsor the event. She has a big show in August, on the 7th of August, she's got that.
Okay.
And we sponsor it. We're one of her sponsors, and I speak as well at her show.
Excellent, we're going.
Okay, brilliant.
We're going to be there.
Good, that's great. You should speak to Sean, definitely, about, so filming and things like that, absolutely.
Right. Now, but within that perspective, so since you will have more branches now, would you still stay on the show?
Yes, I still will do the Woman in Business show, because I think I'm advising people and I like giving advice. I like talking about updates, what's happening in the market, what's going on in current trends and things like that. So, from things, to talk about really, and different systems that you can use. So having that accounting aspect there, Sean's got kind of a business aspect, but the accounting aspect is something that entrepreneurs still have to look after and deal with.
Interesting. Can you give us a couple of examples of what's happening at the moment, and what should we be afraid of, or what we should be grateful for?
Right, okay. So what's happening at the moment? So of course now April's, the year end has ended on the 31st of March. Now or 5th of April, depending on when your year end is really. We're now into a new era. So basically it's gone up to 15% on national insurance for employers. So that changed, that came into power. Also, you now can get the allowance of 10,500 because, you wanted to bring in a part-timer. But if you look at it on that aspect, 13.8% coming up to 15%.
It's come out at the same way.
Yeah, it's coming out at the same, exactly. It's balancing out. So if you think of it like that. So since the October budget, people are still uncertain because I'm going to mention the spring budget, if that's okay.
Yep.
Spring budget didn't give us that information. It talked about getting people back into work, which is great. I think it's great that they want to put people back into work but they're reducing the universal credit as well. So with the universal credit, some people rely on that universal credit because there was an element of when tax credits were around that you had child tax credit and you had tax credits so that you could pay, because childminders also are a business. They also need to make money. Economy's changing. So basically they want to get people back into work, probably more women than men, because men are usually going out there working as well. It's difficult because they say, well, actually, it's beneficial for me not to actually go to work and work, be at home with the children because of childcare. I know the government have, sorry to talk about them, but I know that they give them 15 hours a week, depending on the child's age, of free, child places. But what if you want to work full time? You can pay anything from like 200 to 300 per day. Or if you've got a nanny coming in, that's a whole new salary.
Yeah.
That's a full-time salary, as if you've got someone in your...
Up.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. So there needs to be a bit more help and advice and more. They used to have a voucher system that hasn't gone into place. That's gone now, the voucher system. So it's all those sort of things of getting back people into work. And then they were talking about the defence and the spring budget as well. So, okay, I understand. I do understand why, what to do. But most people, from an entrepreneur's point of view, there's nothing really there for us in that spring budget.
Yeah.
Even though that she said she was increasing. But she's saying 1.6, 1.9. We needed to be at 3%. No lower. Seriously, we need to go. And she's written a book. She wrote a book about how she was saying that the economy should be 25%. Rachel, if anyone's reading that book, they're going to be like, exactly. So
maybe there's a plan.
Hang on a moment. Maybe there is a plan, but she's talking about that plan for the next 5 years. So yeah, and then look at corporation tax as well, 25%. So 90 for the first 50,000. Thereafter, you're kind of like 22% ish, and then obviously if you've got an income of 250,000, everyone thinks that's a lot of money, but in today's climate, if you've got a net profit of 250,000, depending on the type of company you are, 25% of every pound.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah. That's a lot, isn't it?
There's something clearly wrong with the balance.
Yeah.
Heads of
and then you want to bring in investors into UK.
Feel free. I mean, that's okay. But who's going to own the UK? Not UK? I mean, Heathrow Airport is owned by several other entities in other countries at the moment. What's going to happen next? I don't know.
Absolutely. And then the NHS.
And the NHS.
That's
a
different topic for another day. Absolutely, what's going to happen there? But no, small businesses. If you think about it, there's I've already said 77% are micro and small businesses and entrepreneurs, self-employed. If you think about that in the country, because HMRC always bring it up when we're at events and stuff like that, that there's 77% of us. Mm-hmm. If you think of that, you need to be, they're helping the economy tick, and you need to be looking at how you can help them. She said in October budget, she was really going to help them, but actually she just balanced the scales. So keeping up to date with that. Let's see what October brings.
Yeah, well, we'll keep listening to the Women in Business show.
Brilliant.
And hear all the updates. As a last point on the interview, we usually do the Blitz questionnaire.
Oh, Blitz questionnaire!
Blitz
wow.
questionnaire. So
oh my God!
Those are gonna be very easy questions, which you're gonna respond very quickly.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So, question number 1: what's one word that describes your leadership style?
Fair.
Excellent. That's very good, actually. Fair leadership styles is the top of the tops. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
What time do you wake up?
4, 5,
Jesus.
6. My brain is always thinking. I always think.
Right.
Sometimes I come in the office early before the team do, just to get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I go to bed early and get
I see.
up
Oh,
early.
nice. Well, the early mornings they're for successful people, right? So, the biggest myth about accountants.
Biggest myth about accountants is that we're pinstripe suit people and that we're not approachable.
Yeah, you're actually very warm and soft.
Exactly.
And
So that's what
caring,
I'm
so-
saying. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that is
people
true.
just, they look at me and say, you're not the typical accountant, Cal. Because I'm not what
Is he
they're
actually
expecting.
kind?
Yeah, people go, you're not, because I'm bubbly and outgoing. And so, but you need to be. We're your right-hand man. We're your accounts department. Why wouldn't we be?
Yeah. No, you need to be very empathic in terms
Exactly.
of that's great. What is the boldest decision you've ever made in business?
What I haven't mentioned in the interview is that I had cancer when I was 35.
Oh wow.
So I had to sell some of my business to another company. That was the boldest decision because I built that company up as I was a sole practitioner.
Right.
So I could go through my treatment because I just felt that I couldn't give my clients what they needed at the time.
No, you needed to take care of yourself.
And my family. So yeah, that was the boldest decision because, it wasn't easy not having enough income. That was bold, but I had to get well because you can't service anybody if you're not well.
Yeah, that's one of the decisions when you need to pick yourself.
Absolutely. So that's what I
Well done on
did.
picking yourself.
And then when I got back into it again, the clients decided that they didn't like the new company and said, "Can I come back to you?" And 2 years had lapsed, so they came back to me, and it's been great. So they've stayed. That's why I'm saying they've stayed with me for 18 years. So I'm very lucky,
Right, the biggest decision has paid off.
It has, but very bold decision.
Yeah. Most underrated skill in entrepreneurship.
Ooh, most underrated skill in an internship.
Entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay. I don't think people realize how everyone thinks I'm going to go into my own business because I'm going to do less hours.
Yeah, no, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. So you've got to time manage, and people don't time manage. That is a skill that everybody should have, is time management.
Yeah.
Because the time just goes away with you. So planning is important. Make sure there's AI systems out there that can make you plan. But yeah, I'd say time management. If you're not managing your time, you're not going to be cooperative, and you're not going to be and you need to take breaks, well-being breaks as well. People don't. They work through lunch, don't go and have 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And people,
it does influence a lot.
No.
Yeah. All right. Coffee, tea, or something stronger?
I have a matcha.
Matcha?
Yep. I have a matcha with almond milk, with a hint of vanilla, iced, first thing in the morning.
Wow.
I love matchas because it starts your day, it helps your body.
Yeah, it does have caffeine in it as well.
It gives you caffeine. It's got also toxins in it as well, antitoxins. Is that right? Antitoxins, sorry, not toxins.
Yeah.
To help the body and brain power.
Matcha is a great nutritional point, actually, especially in the morning. It's cool that you have it every day. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing you would tell your younger self who just started out?
One thing I tell my younger self who just started out: the future looks bright, even though days may look dark. But you can get through things. Just hang on in there. There's no regrets. All things happen for a reason. You learn by making mistakes, or you learn by anything that's taken out of your control. And that's what makes you a good entrepreneur.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Finish the sentence. Success means?
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
And the last question, which is probably the hardest one, and I apologize for that in advance. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Scatty. I can be scatty. I care about people, and I love the fact that I've got leadership skills.
Scatty, caring, leader.
Leader, yeah.
Excellent. That's a great point to finalize our interview today. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being on the podcast. Our honor is with you. And,
thank you.
Thank you very, very much for partnering with us.
Absolutely,
I'm
so excited.
Have, access to the amazing, scatty, caring leader in accounting.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
I appreciate it. Thank you, Paulina.
Thank you.